time check is 1800 GMT. Hello there, good evening and welcome to the Evening News Bulletin on Adoa Television. We're live all across the world on TV and online from digital address GA226-0733. Also live on digital channel 37 and 38. My name is Naa Anyema Collison. Thank you for choosing us. Let's move straight to our top stories this evening. In tonight's bulletin, Ministers for Defense, Interior and National Security are expected to be summoned before Parliament over recent happenings in Breku that has led to loss of life and destruction of properties. Also in this bulletin, government has denied their involvement in the demolition of the Bulgarian embassy in Accra as the minority in Parliament pushes for a probe into the circumstances leading to the demolition exercise of the embassy. In business this evening, transport fares is expected to be increased again from next week, and this is according to the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. In sports also, the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, disconnects power supply to Accra Sports Stadium over unpaid debt. You might want to stay with us for the next 60 minutes because details of these and many others coming up in a jiffy. Let's start from the northern part of the country because 2 persons have died in a renowned chieftaincy crashes in Janton in the northeast Gonja district of the Savannah region. The 5 others also sustained various degrees of gunshot wounds, while some houses have also been burnt into ashes. According to reports, the incidents occurred early hours of Wednesday, March 16, 2022.
A joint police camp military enforcement was deployed to Jatin in the northeast Gonja district community to ensure calm after 5 others also sustained various degrees of gunshot wounds, while some houses were also burned to ashes. There has been a chieftaincy dispute between the people of Jantin and Banvim, both in the northeast Gonja district. The District Security Council has been mediating the issue for the past 3 years. Recent tensions in Boko led to the arrest of 18 suspects in the area following the killing of a horse trader at Gozezi. The tensions can be traced to December 27, 2021, when there was gunfire in parts of the town after attempting to perform the final funeral rite of a chief who died about 41 years ago. The violence resulted in a curfew being placed on the entire township, a ban on smoke wearing, and a ban on the use of motorbikes. The government has said it is engaging the National Peace Council to find a lasting solution to the disturbances that have characterized Boko in the past few months. President Nana Akufo-Addo had urged the feuding factions in the Boko chieftaincy dispute to cease fire and dialogue. However, the chaos resurrected and resurfaced again in Boko and its environs. The municipal chief executive for Boko in the Upper East region, Amadou Hamza, has admitted that the tumult in the area is becoming extremely difficult to handle. He says the escalated tension in Boko should now be treated with the utmost seriousness it deserves because of the negative impact it is having on livelihoods. These concerns come on the heels of Wednesday's exchange of gunshots that led to the death of 1 person and injuries to 5 others, 3 of whom are military officers. I must be honest, the situation in Boko is very scary. The display of ammunition and guns is becoming serious. Boko is seriously crashing down. Education is completely being destroyed. Nurses are fleeing away and residents are running, he bemoaned. This is the situation we find ourselves in now, and I am appealing to the President and the Vice President to inform the national security that the matter is becoming more serious and we need central government intervention. There is the need for them to look at the central issues in Boko for the security situation to improve, the MC said. Amadou Hamza argued that although efforts have been made in the past to address the clashes in the township, that hasn't yielded the needed result. He is thus of a strong conviction the instability in Boko and its environs is more of spiritual other than a human problem. It is a crisis situation, but I want to thank the security agencies for what they have done so far. Right now, what I want residents of Boko and citizens of Ghana to do is to commit us in prayers.
Let's shift other to news. The minority spokesperson who serves as the ranking member on Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee, Samuel Okujeto-Ablakwa, has condemned the demolition of the Bulgarian embassy. According to him, the demolition is unacceptable, hence wants governments to respect the Convention of Diplomatic Relations. Subsequently, the Northern legislator, on behalf of the minority caucus in Parliament, called for a probe into the circumstances leading to the demolition of the embassy.
She has serious questions to answer. The national security apparatus of our country has serious questions to answer. We don't feel safe in this country, and diplomats don't feel safe. Particularly this coming after the Nigerian incident. Look at our entire history since 1957. We haven't seen this before. Then in the space of 2 years, we're seeing this grave violation of the Vienna Convention, and suddenly embassies don't feel safe again because people are on a looting spree. There's a certain looting brigade at work, and they don't care who owns the property. They don't care whether it's an embassy. They don't even care about friendly relations. They don't care that this can lead to damaging of our international image.
The Bulgarian embassy, located at Kakramadu Road, plot number 10, East Cantonment in Accra, was demolished by a private developer in 2017. According to a statement released by Ghana's Foreign Affairs Ministry, the embassy is said to have leased the property from the late Theophilus Kofi Layton in February 1, 1979. And subsequently extended for 50 more years from 1983, during which the embassy paid 1 million old cedis with the option of renewal for another 50 years. The lease expires in 2033, per the ministry statement signed by the Deputy Minister, Mr. Apranchum Sapon, providing clarity on the matter. It has been a subject of litigation in which the Supreme Court ruled against Kofi Layton. However, his successor, despite the decision, is said to have sold the lease to the private developer. Reacting to the development, NP for North Tongue Samuel Okujeto-Ablakwa expressed his disappointment over the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the minister and her deputies, and these were his reasons.
I think that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs should have done enough to prevent this in the first place. I am not impressed with how they have responded to this issue. They should have protected. They were giving ample notice. They were giving adequate intelligence that this is what, because if you talk to the Bulgarians, they came under threat. The people were here forcing them out, trying to evict them, and they immediately relayed their ordeal to the Foreign Ministry. How is it that the Foreign Ministry has appeared so helpless all this while? All these months, they've appeared so helpless. And look at the level of construction. The Deputy Foreign Minister should have come here long ago. The Minister herself should have come here long ago.
However, speaking on the issue of expiration of the property leased in 2033, this was what he had to say.
It is important to appreciate that the Bulgarians have a valid lease, which has not run out. The Lands Commission has confirmed that that lease is up to 2033, renewable. So it's up to, if you own a property, whatever you want to do with it, whether you want to use this as embassy or consulate or a residence, you own it. And diplomatic premises are diplomatic premises. You cannot intrude. You cannot invade the premises, and you cannot enter without express permission from the head of mission, and those who are in possession. It is really a Bulgarian jurisdiction, by international law, by the Vienna Convention. Where we are is Bulgaria.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has also responded to these allegations, noting that government has no hand in the demolition of the Bulgarian embassy. According to the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. According to the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Aprachum Sapon, the workers of the developer have been warned that they will be arrested if they resume operations in spite of the directive to stop working following an inspection of the site by the ministry.
Government has got no hand in whatever the developer is doing. In fact, I got involved in this particular Bulgaria mission land business on the express instructions of the president. It came to his attention when the Bulgarian ambassador came to present his letters. And then the man raised it, the ambassador raised it there. The president asked me. And then after, the president called me and gave me instructions, go and sort it. It was at that point that the president even mentioned the name of the trespasser to me. That is how I got to know who the trespasser was. But the ministry hasn't slept. And ministry has not reneged on its obligations to the Bulgarians. It's been something that has been on the table day in, day out.
However, the North Tongue legislator on behalf of the minority called for a probe into the circumstances leading to the demolition of the embassy.
The Bulgarians are really upset, and they have reached out to us, and they are wondering, is this the Ghana that they have always known and respected? What really, has happened to us? How have we become so lawless? Have we suddenly become a banana republic? To the extent that even notices of the Lands Commission can be, tied down. Where are we going as a country? And that is why the NDC caucus in Parliament is very clear that there has to be a full-scale investigation into this matter. We must know who all the perpetrators are, all the conspirators. We must identify them. There has to be sanctions. And we are also insisting that this time, we are not going to allow the taxpayer to bear the cost of compensation and reconstruction, as happened in the case of the Nigerian demolition.
Speaking in that report is the legislator, Honorable Samuel Oku-Jatoa Blakwa for North Tongue constituency. Let's do some other stories now, because Associate Political Science Professor at the University of Ghana and UTAG General Secretary, Professor Ransford Jampo, says President Akufo-Addo should reduce his salary and his appointees, and also either reduce or completely withdraw free fuel coupons of his appointees, friends and family in order to save Ghana from the current economic crisis. He recommending that, if possible, the managers of the economy and finance sectors should be reshuffled to tap into new and fresh ideas. In his open letter to President Nana Akufo-Addo on the current economic crisis, he urged the president to find solutions to the crisis Ghanaians are going through, instead of the numerous explanations his communicators and appointees are given to the cost of the economic crisis in the country.
Associate Political Science Professor at the University of Ghana and UTAG General Secretary, Professor Ransford Jampo, in an open letter to President Nana Akufo-Addo, has advised him to reshuffle the managers of the economy and finance sectors to tap into the new and fresh ideas. Contained in the letter, the Associate Professor indicated that the economy is in crisis and that this is not what Ghanaians expected of President Akufo-Addo's government. He bemoaned the justification given by government officials and party communicators because the reason Ghanaians gave him, President Akufo-Addo, the mandate to govern for the second time is not for him and the party to explain the causes of problems, but to find solutions to the problems. In collectively finding solutions to the current crisis as Ghanaians, he suggests that the president reduces his and his appointees' salaries by 30%. And also reduce or suspend allowances paid to people who collect huge salaries. Allowances shouldn't be paid to people who collect huge salaries, even if their initial salaries were reduced by 30%. He suggested that the president reduces his government size because some of the ministries are duplicate, while others only waste state resources. Instead of using the numerous V8 cars, he urged that all are parked, as appointees should only use them when they are going on appointment to remote hinterland where there is a need for the V8. The rest of the V8 should be unshared. Appointees should drive their saloon cars to work. He called for scrap on some of the nuisance taxes on petroleum products to caution Ghanaians. All appointees should stay in the country. If there is a need for them to travel, then they should use commercial flights with first-class tickets. He further went on to say that measures should be put in place so that the country doesn't lose huge sums of money, like it lost 12.8 billion cedis to corruption in 2020. Also, toll booths should be reinstated to collect road tolls, as adjustments should be made so that small saloon vehicles pay 1 cedi instead of 50 pesos and big engine cars 2 cedis instead of 1 cedi. He called for reshuffling in managers of the economy and finance sectors to tap into new and fresh ideas. He says he believes the president still has capable men to help. However, if he doesn't, then he shouldn't hesitate to look outside his party, because when the country sinks, all Ghanaians will suffer regardless of party colors. He says he believes his suggestions will help gather the needed support from the citizenry and also offer some solutions to overcoming the crisis.
Let's do some other stories now, because the Controller and Accountant General's Department under the auspices of the Finance Ministry has launched Government of Ghana Staff and Travel Card, GOG e-card, e-travel card, I beg your pardon, the launch of the innovative product geared towards enhancing public financial management and also reporting was made possible through the partnership of SIGE's technical partner, Ghana's largest privately owned bank, Fidelity Bank Limited.
Fidelity Bank was mandated to issue Visa and GH Link cards for international and local travel. The GOG e-travel card is an integral part of the robust Government of Ghana Staff and Travel Card platform to facilitate expense management of international and local travel for all Government of Ghana employees. The GOG e-travel card will also function as a unique staff identity card. Both the Visa and GH Link versions of the Government of Ghana Staff and Travel Cards were launched by Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia at this year's annual conference of the Controller and Accountant General's Department that was held in Cape Coast. Speaking at the launch, Dr. Bawumia stated that our government is building a system that, amongst others, enhances transparency, promotes accountability, discipline, and trustworthiness, enables inclusiveness, encourages efficient public sector management and public service delivery, and eliminates incentives for bribery and corruption. The Vice President noted that the introduction of the GOG e-travel card for public officials was to ensure that the government reduces certain malpractices and cuts down on waste due to over expenditure. The staff and travel card system automates and integrates all processes from the point of initiation of card insurance requests and funding requests from MDAs and entities through approval and disbursement. It further provides expenditure tracking and retirement of accountable interest. The staff and travel card portal will replace all manual systems of managing travel interest in the public service sector by delivering personalized cards to every government employee. The Controller and Accountant General Kwesi Kwanin Bosumpim also maintained that the introduction of the platform is a great feat for Ghana's digital growth and will improve operational efficiency and provide convenience to all government officials. The current manual and tax-based system of handling interest for official travel is laborious. Government officials often need to change local currencies into foreign currencies at the banks, some at the forest bureaus, and in some cases at unorthodox places which some people call the black market at exorbitant rates, and this comes at a cost to government. We are all set to roll out the GOG e-travel card to all ministries, departments and agencies for use as the official system for disbursing and retiring of interest for official travel in the public service. The launch of the card is an indication of our commitment to the digitalization agenda of government. We will continue to review every aspect of our business processes and explore ways to bring efficiency and effectiveness to bear through digitalization, the Controller and Accountant General said. The Managing Director of Fidelity Bank Ghana, Julian Opuni, remarked that the creation of the Government of Ghana Travel Card aligns with the bank's digitization agenda to provide convenient and seamless digital transactions for all. We commend the government for the bold step it has taken to check overspending and funds misappropriation in the public sector through the introduction of the Government of Ghana Staff and Travel Card. Fidelity Bank is excited to partner with the government in the cashless disbursement of travel allowances, which will ultimately allow for accountability among other beneficial outcomes. The government of Ghana is committed to partnering with the private sector to drive the national digitization agenda. Initiatives like the Ghana Travel Card are one of many upcoming collaborations where public-private partnerships will help to move the country forward in an efficient and technologically savvy manner.
In September 2021, Adoa News brought to the attention of viewers the story of a 2-year-old Gabriel Kojo Nyameche who was suffering from a condition popularly known as a hole in heart. And in order to correct the defect, doctors were requesting for $9,000, an amount the family couldn't afford. The good news is that after airing the story, Adoa TV was able to gather the needed amount through benevolence of our cherished viewers, and Gabriel Kojonyako has successfully undergone the surgery. There is more in the following report.
I am pleading with all benevolent individuals to come to our aid.
$9,000.
Doctors are requesting for $9,000, an amount the family cannot raise. Kindly come to my aid. I can't think of losing Gabriel.
So if you would recall, sometime last year in 2021, we heard the story of 2-year-old Gabriel Kojo Nyameche, who has been diagnosed with a defect popularly known as hole in heart, of which doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital were demanding for $9,000 to correct this defect, an amount the family was unable to raise. But thankfully, after airing the story on our network, both on social media and on TV, by your benevolence and support, we were able to raise the $9,000. And also thanks to Samuel Amotoben Foundation, who also supported massively in that regard. And I'm here to tell you another good story, because young Gabriel Kojo Nyameche has successfully undergone the surgery to correct this defect, and that is him you see behind me. We are the National Cardiothoracic Center here at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. It's just fulfilling and with all joy to know that you are part of this success story. Abigail Watinka is the mother of Gabriel Kojo Nyameche, and she was full of joy as she expressed on behalf of the family sincere appreciation to all those who donated to ensure a successful surgery was performed.
I am extremely grateful to all who supported to ensure the successful surgery of my son. May God richly bless you all. All hope was lost, but thankfully my son is fit now.
Madam Margaret Mensah is little Gabby's grandmom.
All hope was lost when my grandson was diagnosed of hole in heart.
But
with the help of the noble lens, my grandson's defect has been corrected. May God replenish whatever was donated to support this cause.
She further expressed profound gratitude to management of Adoa Television for telling Gabriel Kojo Nyameche's story.
I am most grateful to Adoa TV for the massive support throughout our trying moments, for highlighting our situation that has yielded this positive result.
Meda Adoa TV phone na se penifoni na nyame hyiram se ma ye ba ye beka ya asem no mo nja ya jeje mu omu ka ye ho so ye ba hospital ni adi na mo a nyame hyiram no nya makoma so di ni na mamo nyame ma edwuma ni nya kese mba adwene ntiase so.
Isaac Otu reporting for Adoa News, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Accra.
My colleague, Political Babyface, always on the beat. We're also grateful for your kind gesture of donation. Let's move on to some other stories now, because gone are the days where, should you enter into any Ghanaian kitchen, one thing you are most likely to find is an earthenware bowl or a grinding stone. But eventually, the advent of technologies and things are changing, and today the story is different. These items are gradually fading away with the introduction of blender. But as part of our Heritage Month series, the news team spoke to some section of Ghanaians to find out what they prefer between the earthenware bowl, the grinding stone, and the blender. And this is what they had to say. Take a listen.
The asanka or earthenware dish is a Ghanaian grinding pot made out of clay with ridges inside. It comes with a wooden masher called eta or tapoli in the local language. It is commonly referred to as traditional blender and appropriately used where there is no electricity. The Ghanaians call it ka, while the Akans call it apotoyewa or lasanka. Some decades ago, it was very common in every Ghanaian home. But the narrative is becoming different. With the advent of technology, blender was invented. This is an electronic machine used for grinding. It also has the ability to prepare a wide range of food and beverages that could be made. As Ghana celebrates its heritage in the month of March, the news team spoke to Ghanaians on what they prefer between an earthenware bowl, grinding stone, and a blender.
Oh, blender. Oh, fast. When I hear Ghana Billy, when I mean, to Pako Yaponi coming. Dabi. Blender I call plug in 1 minute. When I can hold ni, I can hold me. I can no fear again. What a year. No can't let be. I call ni 10 minutes. We look on the share. Call on track by Dabi. Blender buona. Call plug in automatic. A catty over chunk. The bago akpa mo. Aposhito. Dabi. Blender go no miss if no plug the no cut on floor ebe. Onu ebe no.
Me mbani na blender ni ka ga chose mi ni no mi wa to ato Nino wakapo coming near or coming near cocker or near a long low brandy one or no let taste yet more or you should come in. Men some more car blender let some more I get cocker or near soletes. Bonus she come in here cocker or nake yes blame my old. Oh no, she.
Nka Asanka no you're very good. But as time by no, na Asanka no uchu no, na ne mu dete no, ana ne mu you know and yet because the best friend mukwana na to manage na way no. Na akomu. Akomu it will create another problem for the body. Inti me no nka I prefer say be use blender instead of
You can also share your thoughts and comments with us on Facebook at Adoa Television Ghana. If you just joined us, you're watching the evening news bulletin on Adoa Television with me, Naa Anyema Collison. We'll be back with more stories. Please don't go away.
Hi, welcome to Sonotech Lab. We work on a wide range of samples, blood, body fluids, and even samples like stool. We work with updated methods and sophisticated equipment just to bring you the most accurate results in the best time possible.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emil's Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Thank you for waiting on us. Let's do the latest with regards to what is going on in Parliament, because the Minority Chief Whip, Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, has moved for a motion for the House to invite the Ministers for Interior and Defense as well as the Security Services to brief the House on the happenings in Boko. The motion, which was supported by other members of the House, seeks to have the sector ministers to brief the House on what steps are being taken to resolve the rising tensions in Boko.
Mr. Speaker, it has to do with the current situation in Boko. Mr. Speaker, the difficulties are that pictures coming and news items going around is a bit worrying and very disturbing. And as a house, in fact, even our colleagues from the enclave are scared to be heard talking about it because of the delicate nature of what is happening there. And some brutalities that is being said to be happening as of this morning in that enclave. I thought that, Mr. Speaker, as a house, we should be interested to get the ministers of Interior, Defense and National Security, even if it is a closed sitting, where they can brief this house, for us to know exactly what are some of the things that are happening and what steps is being taken to help manage the difficulties. I know the conflict is a very long, outstanding issues, but the current happening is not very healthy for us. And I want to crave your attention, Mr. Speaker, that if we can get these ministers to come and brief the House, so that at least the House is versed with what is happening and what steps they are taking. Because, Mr. Speaker, there's even some accusation about the personnel that are there, the officers that have been sent there, belonging to some of the factional groups. And, Mr. Speaker, if this turns out to be true, for example, you want to send troops to Aswasi, and you have the like, or some, may God forbid, something is happening in Masi, and then you and I are also put as part of the contingent to go there. We indirectly have interest because that's where we hail, that's where we come from, we know everything there. So when these all allegations are going on, I think it is important that we get the ministers of security to brief us so that at least what our colleagues from that enclave also know can be relayed to the ministers for them to see what actions they can take to help save the further escalation of the violent and mayhem that is going on there. And I thought that I needed to draw the attention of the House to this. So I'll be grateful, Mr. Speaker, if with your indulgence we can get the ministers to brief this House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Much for the opportunity to add to the call of the Minority Chief Whip for us as a House to be briefed on this matter. Mr. Speaker, just a while ago I was on one of the TV stations, on Metro TV, and this matter came up for discussion. And Mr. Speaker, my phones have not stopped ringing since after the discussion. And I am getting calls from people who represent the different views that have led to the conflict in the area. And it gives me the indication that it is such a serious matter that we should not joke with it as a country. And which better organization than the Parliament of Ghana should be leading in finding a solution, even if it is a temporary one, as we speak. Mr. Speaker, for example, the issue involving the shooting of the soldiers. My fear was that it could even have a relationship with what is happening in Burkina Faso and people coming in and rebels and all of that. But the indication I got after the show is that, in fact, the citizens themselves are complaining that sometimes these soldiers or army officers who are put there to provide security themselves, in some cases by some conduct, have become even a threat to the security situation. They go into homes, they search homes, and when they find even a cutlass, they begin to harass residents of the place. They make them pay some monies in some cases before they are allowed, to go. And it tells you that it's a cocktail. Yes, it's a cocktail of issues that we have to be briefed adequately with, and we all can see how we can contribute to bringing down tension in that area. We all know that it's a historical dispute that has led to, recurrent conflicts every now and then. But the current situation requires urgent attention, and I wish to support the minority chief whip's call that the ministers responsible for security be brought to this house to brief us and also perhaps take views based on our interactions with the people from us. That will inform whatever strategy will be used moving forward to de-escalate the tension in the area. I thank you for the opportunity.
I think I share in the worries of colleagues, and also not to overflog the matter is an important concern that all of us have to discuss and find a lasting solution. But it would be remiss on my part if I don't commend the Minister for Interior based on what I know. Had it not been some good intervention, probably the situation would have gotten out of hand. So to that extent, I want to commend the Minister. But be it as it may, what it means is that there is still a concern, and we cannot leave this matter to die naturally. So I'm totally in support, except to say that this is, as we know, we've dealt with such matters before in this house, where based on Speaker's directive, some committees or selected group of us have been charged to work in this direction. So we should tread cautiously, go on that tangent, and probably, Speaker, at your directive, we invite the ministers to come and have more of a closed-door briefing where we can strategically put together plans. Yes, we commend the President for his reassuring words, which is what a father of our nation should do. This isn't the time for us to get too overly sensitive to this matter, but this is a time for us to do more of a sober reflection and find a lasting solution. It's been a volatile situation for some time now, and it had been good leadership of the Honorable Ambrose Derry. That is why the thing hasn't gotten out of hand. But not to repeat myself, I will support the call, but we should tread cautiously and do more of a closed-door briefing and strategically plan on how to deal with it. So, total support for the call, and it has to be quick, and it must be immediate. Speaker, I thank you for the space.
Well, that the Minister for National Security, with the assistance of the Minister for Defense and Interior, do brief the House urgently on the security situation in Boko. I so direct.
Let's do the latest in the world of business. Some Forex Bureau and banks are now selling the local cedi at 8 Ghana cedi to 1 United States dollar on the retail market. It takes the depreciation of the cedi to the American greenback to a little above 16% since the beginning of 2022. However, the local currency has lost 1.45% in value to the world's most important currency in only 3 days after trading this week. It was selling at about 7 Ghana cedis 85 pesos to a dollar on the retail market on Friday, March 11, 2022. The Bank of Ghana actually quoted a dollar to 7 Ghana cedis 0.35 pesos on the interbank forex market on March 16, 2022. The fast depreciation of the cedi is expected to compel the monetary policy of the Bank of Ghana to find an intermediate solution to halt the free fall of the local currency. It is likely that the central bank will increase the policy rate by not less than 1 percentage point to encourage investors to buy cedi-dominated assets or introduce measures to slow down the rate of the cedi's depreciation. Already, some research institutions are forecasting a year-to-date depreciation of the cedi of about 20%. Many economists and market watchers plus analysts believe the economy has been exposed to challenges because of the way the country has structured its economy. Business news this evening, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, has announced that commuters should expect another upward adjustment in transport fares. This follows another significant increase in fuel prices by some oil marketing companies on Wednesday, with an increase of up to 30% at the pumps. According to head of the communications department of the union, Abbas Imoro, he said, and I quote, "If nothing is being done about this also, then transport fares will be adjusted upwardly next week." The Ghana Private Road Transport Union has announced that commuters should expect another upward increment in transport fares. This follows another significant increase in fuel prices by some oil marketing companies yesterday, with an increase of up to 30% at the pumps. According to the head of Union's communication, Abbas Imoro, if nothing is being done about this also, the next week, of course, would have to justify and adjust lorry fares, he said, and I quote, "Transport fares expected to shoot up again after increment in fuel prices. The government had an agreement with commercial transport operators that they can increase the prices of transport fares when fuel prices increase by a cumulative 10%. Following the current hikes in fuel prices, Abbas Imoro says the executives are deliberating on another upward adjustment to be made for the existing fares. The transport operators on Saturday, February 26, 2022, increased their transport fares by 15% after weeks of engagement with various unions and governments. They had earlier demanded for a 30% increment, but was reduced to 15% after a meeting with government on Monday, February 21, 2022. Meanwhile, the Deputy Energy Minister has indicated that government has initiated plans to address the challenges influencing fuel price hikes in the country. Fuel prices at various pumps hit 11 Ghana cedi per litre on Wednesday, March 16, 2022 across the country. The bulk oil distributors had blamed the situation on the volatility on the market as well as the rising cost of crude on the international market. That will be it for business this evening, but you can visit our website www.adoanewsonline.com/business to read more. We're going for a quick 10. When we come back, we'll give you more stories. Please stay again.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
To some sports news now. The National Task Force of the Electricity Company of Ghana has cut power supply to part of the Accra Sports Stadium over the debts owned by the company. The Accra Sports Stadium was disconnected on Wednesday as part of efforts to reduce the debts of the company.
In an attempt to recoup some of its liabilities, ECG has taken steps to disconnect some key state institutions that owe the company for months, including the Ghana Airport Company. This follows the Electricity Company of Ghana's operation disconnecting the sports stadium for owing about 508,000 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, some business owners allege they have paid rent and utility bills to tune of about 100,000 Ghana cedis to managers of the Accra Sports Stadium and wonder why they should bear the consequences of the disconnection. As at Wednesday evening, 2 power generators were running concurrently to keep some offices operational. Acting Deputy General Secretary of the National Sports Authority, Majid Bawa, in an interview said they are working to restore power back to the Accra Sports Stadium.
All our facilities, all the stadia, there's this installation of a transformer that they put. And whether you use it or you don't use it, there's a fixed charge of 5,000 Ghana cedis. And so that is affecting us. We have been in talking to, we have petitioned the ECG several times. Almost all our regional offices have petitioned the ECG to take off that fixed charges of 5,000, whether you use it or you do not use it. And so that is why our bill seems to be high. But ECG wants us to pay 70% of the debt. And so we are negotiating with them. We are not in a good position to pay the 70%, but we will make a deposit and then we'll commit ourselves to paying by installment. And so we hope that, God willing, tomorrow, Friday, we should be able to reconnect it to the national grid. It doesn't affect our operations. Our core mandate is the management of the facility, the promotion of sports and development of sport. That is not affecting us. So even if we have to play any game in the night, we should be able to do it. All over the world, stadia are not only used for sporting activities, they use it for recreational activities also to generate money. But when we want to use it for recreational activities, you say, hey, then we are struggling to solve our electricity bill. Electricity is disconnected. You say, hey, so it is a mandate to make sure that we mobilize resources to be able to function effectively. And so we are doing exactly that. It is not the pitch alone that give us IGF. So we are a revenue generating agency, and so we should be able to look into the kitchen and see what we can mobilize to be able to restore power, and that we are sure that it will be done by close of this week.
In international sports this evening, Rafael Nadal overcame American Opelka to claim the 18th consecutive win this season on his way to the quarterfinals at Indians Wall. Nadal, a three-time champion in the desert, became the second player in ATP Tour history to start a season 18-0 without a defeat, ending Opelka 7-6, 7-6. After his victory over Opelka, he said this his best match for the tournament, and he is pleased with how he was able to win the match with 2 difficult breaks.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Super happy, honestly. Now have been a very difficult match. I know before the match that's going to be a very tough opponent. He started the season playing